So why is cancer a genetic disease? The answers to this question can help us understand how clinical lab genetic testing can help in the fight against cancer. When we say cancer is a genetic disease, it has two meanings. Number one, cancer is caused by accumulation of DNA mutations in our cells. And number two, cancer can run in families. This video is going to be delivered in two parts. Today is part one. One thing I want to emphasize is that when we say DNA mutation here, we're talking about the DNA mutation that our cells accumulate as they divide through our lives. These are not the DNA mutation that you inherit from your parents. Hello, welcome. This is Dr. XY's channel. I am a board-certified clinical laboratory geneticist. I would like to promote knowledge, interest, and appreciation for genetics because I believe that brings people together. Here on my channel, you will find content. Some are fun facts of genetics, some are more serious content like today's. In a human body, every time when a cell divides, it must accurately copy 6 billion base pairs of DNA into the daughter cells. And our cells are constantly under the assault from the environment that leads to DNA mutation, such as ultraviolet light from the sun and free radicals from food, as well as carcinogenic pollutants that exist in our environment. And independent of that, the DNA replication mechanism itself has a low level of error rate. So that's why our cells have an arsenal of repair mechanisms to help fix DNA mutations. But if we think about it, it's estimated that throughout our lives, our cells go through 10 quadrillion times of cell division. So mutations are bound to happen, and some of them are going to escape our body's defense mechanisms, and they're going to proliferate, and they can become cancer. DNA mutation is really at the root of cancer. Clinical lab genetic testing comes in to fight against cancer in three major ways. Number one, the diagnosis of cancer. Through clinical research, we now understand that many cancer has its own signature mutations, and the detection of them is absolutely critical because it ensures the accurate diagnosis of disease and it leads to the correct decision on treatment. Number two, guiding treatment. A lot of the signature mutations that we just talked about are also the driver of the cancer. And we now have targeted therapy for many of them. So their detection can bring in the silver bullets that really eradicate the cancer from its root. In addition to that, clinical lab genetic testing also helps profile the chromosomes, the genes, and the whole genome of the cancer cells. So it gives the whole picture that helps us understand if the patient is at a high risk, low risk, or intermediate risk in terms of this disease. This information is important for the physician to decide how to best treat the patient. Number three is disease monitoring. So as a patient is being treated, it's very important to monitor the patients with lab genetic testing at appropriate intervals so we know if the treatment is working. In addition to that, sometimes there can be new mutations that creep up during the treatment. Cancer is rarely a single clone of cells. There are usually several different clones. And throughout cancer treatment, some of them can wax and wane. There are some clones that will respond to treatment, some clones that might actually escape treatment. In addition to that, some cancer therapies work via interfering with DNA replication. This is how they work. Unfortunately, this can also introduce undesirable effect on healthy cells, which is DNA mutation. So this is why sometimes secondary disease can develop. It's important to find them out and therefore add additional interventions as needed. So that's it for today. We talked about why cancer is a genetic disease. We went over part one of the video, describing how cancer is accumulation of mutations and how clinical laboratory genetic testing can help in the fight against cancer. It's a little different from my other videos, but this is in fact my niche of practice. And I often see confusing faces when I explain to people that I work in cancer genetics. So I thought, why don't I give myself a challenge and help raise awareness of my profession? So how did I do? Was it confusing or was it too basic? Please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's video, like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the second part of the video where I go over why some cancers can run in families. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.